Hey guys, it's the idiot himself, and I'm gonna do sort of a campaign recap for a campaign that I ran a year ago. First things first, in the words of Matt Colville, if you like something and you're a dungeon master, you can just steal it, because once you adapt it, hardly any of your players will notice it, and even if they do, it'll be awesome because they'll feel like they're living in that moment where Frodo realizes that the secret word is Elvish for friend. You know, if they figure out something like that, then it's a pretty big win. And I decided I was going to try and GM for some of my friends that have never played Dungeons and Dragons. I met these guys on RuneScape, and they quickly become some of my best friends. So I wanted to introduce them to one of my favorite hobbies. And they loved it. They just became terrorists in the process. I started them off in a reskin of the Delian Tomb. I draw a lot of inspiration from Matt Colville. Which, if you don't know, is just a small dungeon with a few contained combat encounters, as well as a trap, a puzzle, and some secret hidden loot. I don't quite remember if Matt's version had a magical item, but mine did. Yeah, but that's beside the point. So as soon as they're done saving the girl from the ritual, the ritual sacrifice, she tells them to head to the next city. It's where her family is from. It's, they'll reward her, or they'll reward them, do whatever. And they do. And when they get there, and I guess I should preface this by saying that the party consisted of a half-elf, a half-orc, 2 dragonborns, and a human. The human was hardly ever there. And I think one of them was a half-drow. I think one was a half-drow. I think the half-elf was a half-drow. It's been a year. And when they got to the city, on the notice board outside the city, it said reward for Tales of the Dragonborn. Like 25 gold each or something. So after the short stint where my players thought it would be a good idea to chop off their own tails, it was pretty evident they weren't welcomed inside the city. So they didn't go in. The half-elf went in alone and ended up getting some heavy cloaks and a few disguise kits, and I let them wander the streets for a while. Now, it wouldn't be forever, but eventually they'd get found out. They would eventually get found out if they made it that far. This entire game lasted 2 sessions. Before everyone's schedule started conflicting, and it was just a pain to run. So, the Dragonborns are exploring the city in their new disguises, and they run into Victor. If you know the name Victor from Dungeons & Dragons, congratulations, you watch Critical Role, or have watched highlights. It's a black powder merchant, and I just ripped the character straight out of Exandria. Because I thought it'd be interesting. I want my fantasy world to be on the brink of discovering guns, and that was something that I had told the players. They had the option to be a gunslinger, to be a fighter path gunslinger, and well, none of them wanted to do it. It was an option, and so they found the city, they found Victor, and they spent all of their gold to buy a literal hogshead of black powder. And then this moved on to finding the town master in the bar, where I believe the half-orc struck up a good conversation with him about how he didn't really like what he was doing. The town master didn't really like what he was doing to the Dragonborn because it wasn't his call. If the town master is here, I forget who I put here, but I think it was like a count. And the count decided that the Dragonborns are not okay. Well, this guy liked them. He remembers the good stories that used to happen, of the Dragonborn saving people and just being like a holy order, and this guy didn't care. Their tails were being cut off and sold into slavery, which I thought is a great way to distinguish things and make the world seem a little gritty, even if it is a little real. I feel like a lot of things that we take for granted in fantasy have just super grounded roots in real life, and in order to make it seem like a fleshed out world, you have to have some bad shit in there. I'm not saying like you should have like super, super bad shit, but you have to have a little bit of bad shit. Like slavery of a made up race of dragon people? A little better than slavery of humans, I think. I'm nervous saying that. I'm nervous just saying that. But they found the town hall, where the town master worked. And with this literal hogshead of black powder, they set it off in the town hall and destroyed it. And luckily, the session had been going on for a few hours at that point, so I was like, all right, that's a good stopping point. We'll pick up next time. And we just ended up never being able to get back together. My players became terrorists. I was really excited for them to take the black powder and use it in small bits here and there. Try and figure out something, get through a locked door one day with it, just a big break and enter. I was not expecting them to blow up half the town hall by using all of it at once. And I mean, that was probably too generous. They probably wouldn't have done that, if I'm being honest, but in the moment, it seemed what was right. And looking back, I don't know how I would have handled that then. They probably would have been on the run. I probably would have had some guards chase after them, like that, some high-level elite guards that they just had no chance of actually defeating in like, combat. But taking them to a prison and giving them a way to escape through there, and maybe going into something akin to, like, Out of the Abyss, and having them, the only way out of their cells is through a tunnel that leads into the Underdark. Maybe, I don't know. I would like to put myself in a situation like that again to see if I can figure it out, but I'm not too concerned about it, really. And it was a good learning experience. And I just started a new group, a new session, with a new campaign, rather, with a lot of the same players, set in on the Sword Coast. So I'm running them through Lost Mines of Phandelver, and eventually I'll pick another module to run them into with a lot of homebrew stuff along the way. But I'm probably going to do campaign diaries for that. So if you're actually around and you want to listen to those, just keep an eye out. But until then, yeah. They love Dungeons & Dragons, but they are all terrorists.